Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good evening. Good morning and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there, man. I really do hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in good spirits and all that. All right, we got some things we got to discuss, okay? We have some things we have got to discuss. Now, the reason why I say that is because, well, one, I didn't talk about this yesterday. I kind of kept everything kind of radio silent yesterday because I kind of just wanted to wait and see if there was any more developing information that happened or that was going to develop over the day. And there really wasn't a whole lot that was going on except for rumors, nothing but rumors, whole lot of rumors. Let me repeat that again. Rumors, all day long. But anyway, we're going to continue on. Rumors. So let's go. I said I want to keep it quiet yesterday. I didn't say a dang thing. Didn't say anything because there was nothing but rumors flying around. Okay. And don't get me wrong. You know, we got to ask all these things. Okay. We got to ask all these things. We got to ask all these questions. We have all these things that are going on in our minds. Okay. And of course, because we don't have any information, there's going to be a lot of people speculating. A lot of things are going to be flying out the woodwork. And there's going to be a lot of people throwing things in that don't add up. So we're here to talk about a few of those things. Hopefully you're down for that. We're going to chop it up. And we're going to talk about those things as a family. Like I said, lots of rumors. Lots of things that weren't true at all. In fact, a lot of people were reporting things that weren't actually happening at all. So we're here to talk about those things, okay? And discuss these things as a family. And I get it. I get the energy. I appreciate the energy. But there's a lot of things that are not accurate out here in these streets. So we're going to talk about those things. So do me a favor. Do me a solid. Hit that like button down below, please and thank you. Crush it. Do what you need to do. Send it past 300 likes so you guys start to file in. I'd really, really appreciate it. We got some things we're going to be looking at. We got some things we're going to talk about as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. Please do me a favor as well. Do not forget, hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook, X, follow me on TikTok, Instagram, you name it. Go over there. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're watching over here. Okay, this is my main platform. So go over there or go over here, wherever you're watching. And hit that subscribe button over there. Hit that join button down below. Become a member. Check out my Patreon if you want to support it even further. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. That'd be greatly appreciated. All right. And of course, check out my merch page, pascalmerch.com. Again, pascalmerch.com. That'd be awesome too. Check it out. We got some really great merch over there. Okay, let's get into this. Okay. And also, y'all don't need to message thepascalmerch.com to get to me. There are multiple avenues to DM me and get in contact with me. Okay, just saying that out loud. Okay. Now let me just say this really quick. I appreciate the energy. Okay, and I'm sure the Rogers family and everybody else surrounding Sebastian's case appreciate the focus and energy. I just have to say that. I can't speak on behalf of them. But as a person sitting on the outside, I'm going, okay, you know, I see the silver lining. I see the light at the end of the tunnel, of this dark, dark tunnel, because I see that you guys care. But it's gotten a little crazy. It's gone off the handles a little bit. I'm going to keep it a buck. Okay? And again, it's appreciated, the energy. But I think we want the energy, we all, who are with us or on the outside of the case as well, want this to be a nicely focused investigation, right? Now, nobody's perfect here, okay? Nobody is. But at the same time, there has been a lot of speculation, a lot of craziness flying off the handles and is getting a little out of hand. So I have a few things I want to talk about. Number one, there was a show that I did a while back, like a few days ago. All right. It was a random live. I had Seth randomly on his own accord. Okay. Called into the show. Now he was very tired, very exhausted. Okay. I guess he was on some pain meds and all that stuff. And as he said in the interview, the pain meds were kicking in. So I was very, very adamant about letting him go. I was very much like, okay, time to go. Painkillers are kicking in. We need you to get going. Okay. Talk to you soon. Right. Now, throughout that interview, there was a lot of things that were being said, a lot of information that was put out there. Yes, he did text TBI during that time live on the show. But then something happened during the show that has gone crazy in these internet streets for no reason whatsoever. To the point where you guys have, some people, not y'all, but some people have turned it around and made it seem like Sebastian was in the background saying hello on the phone. Let me just point something out really quick. He was blowing his nose, guys. Let me get a little bit closer so everyone hears me. He was blowing his nose. Okay. So there's been people that have been sending me clips of that actual moment, time and time again, sending me timestamps and basically saying, you are the one that's holding the information from TBI because Sebastian is right there. Seth got Sebastian. I'm not kidding. And I got to use this sound effect because I got to. Literally, that was happening. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take a step back. Because this is insane. This is crazy, guys. Hold on. Let me see if I can actually find, because I got an email with an actual screenshot video of this mother-loving thing. On God, I'm not kidding. Okay? On God. All right? So let me just pull this up really quick. Let me see if I can find it. Because I was like, I'm not gonna pull it up. But no. We gonna pull it up. Okay? Now, it's all good. Some people were coming after me, trying to throw some shade, trying to get angry at me. Like I'm the one who, you see what I'm saying? I need you guys to hear this because I need to make sure, like on some real stuff. Let me see if I got this. Hold on. Yep, I have it. Hold on. We're going to pull this up. We're going to listen to this as a family. Because I mean, honestly, I want to be as transparent and as real as possible. But in no way, shape, or form am I trying to withhold any type of information. He called. It was a very impromptu phone call. And then people took this and ran with this for a minute. And then some people were trying to attack me, trying to say some very rude things. And here it is. I'm not here for the drama. I'm just not. Okay? But at the same time, there was things that were being said. You know, I'm having a impromptu phone call with the father of a missing child. And people are listening to the clip that I'm about to share with you guys. And they are literally saying that is the voice of a child saying hello. Now, I get it. Like, I'm going to say this again before I play this clip. I totally understand the energy. I appreciate the energy. but it's getting a little off course. Let me repeat that again. It's getting off course. Okay? Like I said, I took a step back. I said, you know what? I'm going to sit on this. I'm going to sit and not say anything. All I'm doing is trying to talk about this case, keep Sebastian's name out here, keep it fresh, keep it new. Do whatever we can in hopes to finding this young man. And then I start getting these DMs and these messages like I'm holding information from TBI. Me, myself. It's crazy. It's insane. So let me play you the video. Let me play you the audio. Make sure it's nice and loud for everyone to hear. Okay? Because we got some stories to tell. So, shall we? Yeah. Press the number 1. Make sure you guys can hear this. I want you guys to hear this. Make this abundantly clear. Prick up your ears. Take a listen to this conversation. And you're going to hear exactly the moment that they're talking about. This is 15 seconds, by the way. So it's very short. Listen up. Ready? Let's go. House. Do they have that footage?
Hello. Not that they showed me, because I didn't ask for it.
Gotcha. Now I gotta ask you though, because it for me it's like, all right, because okay. You heard that right? Yeah, I see the number 1s. Appreciate it. Good job. Good job, you. Good job. Don't worry. I'm playing it again just to make sure you guys can hear this all the way in the nosebleed seats. You heard that noise? That's what people are claiming to be a child. That is him blowing his mother-loving nose. Hold on. I'm going to play it again for the nosebleed seats. Listen up. I'm not going to interrupt this, and I'm only playing it one more time. House. Do they have that footage?
Hello. Not that they showed me, because I didn't ask for it.
Gotcha. Now I gotta ask you though, because it for me it's like, all right, because okay. So I want to say this again. I appreciate y'all's energy. I love every single last one of y'all. But that was a man blowing his nose live on a show. At first I thought, I'm going to tell you this. At first I thought y'all were thinking that maybe you heard my kid. Because sometimes you'll hear my little kid yapping in the background, yelling or going, blah, you know what I mean? Being a baby. So I went back and I went through this whole entire interview. Again, the impromptu, out of nowhere phone call that I had with Seth Rogers, and listened to it one more again. Okay? Went through the whole thing, and I'm going, is there a kid? Literally. Because I wanted to make sure, because I'm not trying to withhold any type of information, nor would I ever think that Seth would be withholding Sebastian of all people. Like I said, I appreciate y'all's energy and y'all's focus, but some of this focus is going completely off course. We just debunked that, just so you guys know. Like I said, today we're talking about rumors, okay? We are talking about rumors today because they're getting crazy. Now, there was another rumor. We're going to get straight into it. We're going to keep it moving. We're going organically. We're feeling it. We're flowing. We're just doing this, okay? So, there was another rumor floating around here. The FBI actually came to the Proudfoot's RV. Okay. Sure. One thing is for sure. Sorry, 1 second, guys. One thing is for sure. Sorry, I'm getting alerts from another case that deserves a lot of light on top of it as well. But there's rumors about FBI going up and knock, knock, knock on their RV door. That is not true either. That is not true at all. In fact, hopefully it's okay for me to say this, but I had a conversation with Seth around that same time. Even Seth said, I don't believe it. I need photos to see that because I don't believe a damn thing about that. That's just straight rumors, bro. Okay. So I take his word for it because you know for a fact, if FBI was knocking on their RV chamber door, you know for a fact Seth would be like, yeah, they were right there and I was all for it. I was clapping and saying, Hercules, Hercules, Hercules. But no, that is not true. Another thing that's been floating around here, content creators are talking about it and putting it out here, that is also not true. There has not been any criminal investigation. In fact, some of y'all have been DMing me, and like I said, I appreciate the energy. Please keep sending me stuff. It's fine. I always try to fact check. I always cross-reference. I always keep going all the way back because I want to see receipts. But then some people have been sending me information about there being a criminal investigation that it was announced. And that News Channel 5 from Nashville announced this criminal investigation. So I keep reaching out to everybody going, yo. Can you send me the article or the video? Can you show me proof positive that that is actually real and that is actually true? Because I really would love to see that too. Zero. Not heard once from not one person. Not one person has responded back saying, oh yeah, here's the link. Even reached out to Seth. Same thing. That's news to me, if that's true. Now, I get it that TBI, law enforcement, may be playing a lot of things close to the chest. Maybe when it comes to Seth, I don't know. He's been on the show talking about how they've been very, very tight-lipped with him, right? And maybe it's because he's been hopping on shows and podcasts and the sort, okay? But at the end of the day, there is no criminal investigation going on. FBI did not show up to the Proudfoot's RV. And he most definitely not holding some kid in his crib. He was blowing his mother-loving nose, guys. Blowing his nose. All right. And the reason why we now know that the criminal investigation is not a real thing is because now we have Nick Barris from News Channel 5 putting out a statement and also a video, which we are going to be watching here as a family, because I want to make sure we drill this all the way home. Everybody talking about all this craziness. It's not true. Come on, y'all. Dag nabbit. It's not true. Now, trust me, when it does turn into a criminal investigation, do you realize I'll be celebrating, going, yes, finally, they have something. They at least have something that they can pin on, hopefully, somebody, right? But I'm not trying to come out here and give you information just for the sake of having a conversation. I'm not going to do that to y'all. Now, of course, I got a lot of questions, just like all these other content creators do. No disrespect to any of them. Man, do you, boo-boo? Tell your stories how you want to tell your stories. But if there isn't a criminal investigation going on, we have to be absolutely on point with that, because that's crucial. That is crucial, y'all. That is crucial. FBI investigation or them going up and knocking on the door, that is crucial. Now, we understand that there has been law enforcement presence going in and out of the RV that is the Proudfoot's RV. That is true. but not as of recently. So we have to make sure we're on point with our stuff. Just saying that out loud. And he was blowing his nose. I'm not kidding. Okay, so I got to tell you this story. So I'm on the phone with him because I talk to him a lot near the end of the night. You know what I mean? Just to check in on him because I know usually at the end of the night, that's when he's about to turn in. He's chill. I'm being friendly. I'm giving him some support. Okay. Obviously, I feel emotionally attached to this case, etc. So I'm just checking in on him. And I start getting these emails about the phone call. And everybody like dissecting the hell out of this sound of him blowing his nose. So I literally played it for him. And he just started. We were laughing because we're like, where is there a child? I had to ask him. The fact that I even had to ask him this question was it was the oddest thing ever. But I had to ask. I was like, literally, do you have a kid in the house? Was there a kid in the house when you were on the show with me? He's like, no. What are you talking about? I was watching the show from another phone. I called in. You asked me to turn it down. My nose was stuffy, so I blew my nose. So I played the clip, and he's like, what? Where's everybody thinking this? And again, people are running with this and going, oh, he's got Sebastian. Everybody tranquilo. Por favor. Tranquilo. Tranquilo. Okay? He was blowing his nose. Off of that soundbite. Boom. Everyone's like, Eureka. He's right there. Sebastian's in that house. It doesn't make sense, guys. It doesn't. Okay? So, let us continue because there's more to this. Okay? Nick Barris. All right, let me pull this up. All right? Nick Barris is pulled up. And he is talking about this as well. Talking about the criminal investigation, not about him blowing his nose. All right? Like, you know, you remember that whole soundbite, the Laurel, Yanny. You remember that thing back in the day? Do you hear Laurel? Do you hear Yanny? Right? Like, there is no debate. It is a man blowing his nose. There's no debate around that. And I do not know how anyone heard a child saying hello. So, put all these things in consideration. This guy's sleep deprived. He's injured. He's working his tail off, burning both ends of the candle, right? You don't think he's maybe dealing with a little bit of phlegm, a little snotty? You see what I'm saying? Maybe a tiny bit of a cold because his immune system may be down from sleep deprivation, so on and so forth. I mean, there's a lot of things to put in consideration. Okay? But I digress. As far as the theories or the rumor that's been running around here about a criminal investigation being announced, people were saying News Channel 5 announced this. And trust me, I asked people to send me the link to the article showing that exact thing. I scoured Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Google. I went everywhere to find that information, that exact information, because I would love to be able to give you that information, right? I found it nowhere. But I was seeing a lot of content creators talking about this, and I'm like, wait a second. No, bruh. Nah, son. Nah. Where's the proof? Where's the article? Where's the information? Is it coming from the Proudfoots or the Rogers? Is it coming from them, a source, more reliable source? Or is this just rumor getting that's floating around here? Right? Inquiring minds would like to know. So, we can finally put this to bed now, because Nick Barris, News Channel 5, talks about criminal investigation. And we got a video we're going to look at as well here in just a minute. So he says, a question I am continually asked, Nick, what would it take for Sebastian Rogers' case to become criminal? Now, first off, just really quick, that should answer some of y'all's questions right there. If some of y'all like, nah, I saw from this place, blah, blah, blah. Nick Barris is even saying out here that it's not that yet. It's not. And he's asking even himself, and he's getting this same question. How can it become criminal? It is not criminal yet. Let me slow down this chat real quick. Bang, bang. All right. Hopefully that's slow enough for y'all. All right. So again, let's get into this. He says, fair question. Since searchers have no sign of the teen, many are left to wonder, did someone do something to him? Take him from the area? I can tell you, no one close to the boy has been cleared by authorities, and the focus remains on the possibility of foul play. Let me repeat that again, which is very important to hear. Now, you can look at Nick Barris and say, if he's a reliable source or not. I look at him as a reliable source, okay? But he says, I can tell you, no one close to the boy has been cleared by authorities, which is big in my personal opinion. We've been hearing otherwise from the Proudfoots, at least so far, okay? And the focus remains on the possibility of foul play. But no suspects have been named. So, of course, they're not saying anything. Again, there's a good possibility that they could be playing a lot of this close to the vest before they actually pounce. But one thing I do want to say, though, is that the Proudfoots, from my understanding, are not where they were in Mississippi. From my understanding, they have moved on, but I don't know if that part is 110% true or not. I know that they've had a lot of commotion and a lot of people circulating around the campgrounds that they're at, yelling at them, screaming things out their cars and stuff. So there's a good possibility that they may have picked their things up and moved on to somewhere else. Where? I have yet to hear anything about that, okay? Now, Buggin says, if that's true, they're in the same spot. I live here. If they're still in the same spot, then okay, good. I'm glad that they're still there, okay? Like I said, information that just keeps flying all over the place. It's very interesting. Now, I understand that they took down their, not their YouTube, their Facebook accounts and so on and so forth, okay? That was inevitable. Okay, let's keep it real. That was inevitable. That was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. I was like, I'm surprised it didn't happen a week or two after Sebastian was reported missing. Okay, but let's continue here. All right, the mystery of Sebastian's disappearance remains. This is the autistic teen that is still missing after 46 days. 46 days, guys. The search continues, but many wonder what would take to officially open a criminal investigation and perhaps even seek indictments. Authorities say they won't rule out foul play, but have not said there is a criminal investigation yet. Let me just say that one more time. Authorities say they won't rule out foul play, but, you know, we already know they've been sitting on the fence like a mother lover, okay? They've been sitting on the fence like a mother lover. Is it foul play? We don't know if it's foul play. We're not going to say it's foul play, but it may be foul play, but it's not foul play, right? But have not said there is a criminal investigation yet. So all the information that people are out here saying about there being a criminal investigation is not true. Sebastian disappeared from his Hendersonville, Tennessee home more than 6 weeks ago. And that's a long time ago. I wanted to know how authorities were still looking for a Hendersonville teen. They showed me. Since then, professionals and volunteers searching for the 15-year-old boy have found nothing so far. Goose egg, zilch, nada, zippity doo dah, which is still insane as well. And to me, that should instantly, I don't know. I'm not 5-0, but I would instantly be like, no, that be foul play, though. That be foul play. But let's continue. So how does a teen with autism walking from a home barefoot in the middle of the night with a flashlight and just disappear? Experts say children rarely simply vanish completely on their own. That's very true. Could others be involved in Sebastian's case? That's a very good question. Okay. We have not cleared anyone, but we have no evidence of foul play. And this apparently was the Sumner County Sheriff's chief deputy that said this. Though they certainly have theories. Of course, they should. Shoot. You got Sebastian's father, Seth, out here in these streets doing everything he can. He is on podcast. He's doing every interview he can. He is working himself to death to find his son. Okay. So you better have these theories. Okay. At least. So what would it take to call this now a criminal investigation? District Attorney Ray Whitley says there needs to be something. Physical evidence, blood, Sebastian's clothing, a flashlight or security video, or an eyewitness implicating someone. I'm going to say that again. The items, some things that could be helpful is physical evidence. And this is the reason why, not only to just debunk or to clear some of these rumors, but also to point out these things. Physical evidence is needed. Physical evidence is absolutely needed. That's everything from blood, his clothing, a flashlight, or security video, or an eyewitness implicating someone. So before we continue on with his statement here, if anyone knows anything, this is the time. Well, y'all should have been talking about this, but this is the time more than ever to start talking. It's been 46 days, guys. 46. Sebastian could be anywhere at this point. So if you know anything, please speak up. I'm sure there's a way that you can speak up and keep it anonymous. But just do the right thing. Let's continue on. At this point, the simple fact is that there's nothing. So, but that's not to say that can't change. And General Whitley tells me that he stays in contact with authorities, ready to prosecute if it does. Sumner County Director Widener says his crews are on call, ready to go when investigators with new leads on potential evidence. Anytime the sheriff or TBI says we need to deploy and go, we are ready to go. A sophisticated mapping system shows all the ground they've covered. Sadly, to date, no confirmed sightings and no indication whatsoever of what happened to Sebastian. Authorities still assume Sebastian is alive and hope he is found safe. And I think we all are hoping for the same thing. If that's not the case, then his body must be found. Yes, if it's not a rescue, then it needs to be a recovery. Without it or any other physical evidence, we may never learn what happened to the teen. Now, of course, anyone with tips, and I strongly urge anyone who's listening, watching the show, all that stuff, please step forward. I'm sure you can do this anonymously. You don't have to do this and state your name or anything of that sort if you're worried about getting in trouble, okay? Because I get it. Maybe you're scared to say something because you don't want it to come back in a negative way to attack you, all right? So you could call 1-800-TBI-FIND. That is 1-800-TBI-FIND. Okay? So, again, this is Sebastian. He's 15 years old. It's been 46 days since anyone has seen this young man. You have his biological father, Seth Rogers, doing everything he can to find his son. I just want you guys to know that. He is desperately trying to find his son. Now, there is something else that we do need to talk about, because there's some other rumors that have been flying around here too, which I think is getting kind of ridiculous, and we don't know if it's true or not. But first off, Seth did do a lie detector test. He most definitely did. I was in correspondence with him that whole day, or, not the whole day, but I was just reaching out to him to see how things went, so on and so forth. Now, I know that he went on other platforms or another platform and was basically commenting on that platform about taking this lie detector test. He also did tell me the same thing, but I wasn't going to go out here and talk about it, but he did say it to me as well. The same thing that he was saying in the comments in the chat during this live on this other podcast. And he did say he fell asleep during the polygraph, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Actually, let's just say this. I don't know if that's a bad thing. Okay, I don't know about all that. But he allegedly fell asleep. Okay? Fell asleep during the polygraph, which is very, very interesting. Now, apparently there's a rumor floating around here saying that he didn't pass the polygraph. How will we know that? Like I said, how will we know that? Why is that rumor out here if we don't have Nancy Grace going on her show saying there was a polygraph test for Seth Rogers? Like, you see what I'm saying? And then she would have said it all came back, the test came back negative or something of that sort, right? But apparently the people are saying out here that he didn't pass the poly. How does anybody know that? Let me tell you, let's take a little trip down memory lane, okay? Remember when they were on, the Proudfoots were on Nancy Grace? He said, I didn't take one. She goes, yes, I did. And then I think it was Nancy that asked if she passed, and she said yes. How would she know? How would Katie Proudfoot even know if she passed the poly? They wouldn't tell you that stuff. They may tell you, good job, you passed, or whatever. They might tell you, okay, thank you so much, and leave, right? But they're not going to tell you if you passed or not. Not right off the bat. If they're going to use this against you later on, they're not going to tell you, oh, you failed, because they don't want you running. They want to see what you do. Okay, thank you so much. They don't say nothing. Yeah, we'll be looking at it, and looking in all this stuff, blah, blah, blah. Thank you so much. Chuck up the deuces. There's the door. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. They're not going to tell you, yeah, you passed. Great job. Pulling out these confetti poppers and popping champagne and stuff like, you passed. They're not going to do that. Law enforcement is not going to do that. They're not. So, same thing with Seth. You really think that they're going to turn to him and say, sorry, sir, you failed. They're not going to tell him that. He's not going to know. Just like Katie Proudfoot shouldn't know. She shouldn't. Unless there's something else deeper going on and there's a connection and, they got some hookups with law enforcement. You feel me? Because that's obviously a theory that's running around here too. That maybe the Proudfoots have their hands in local law enforcement's pocket. That could possibly be it. But at the same time, when you have a 15-year-old missing, in the way that he disappeared, you really think that law enforcement, if they're really doing the job and doing it right, you really think that they're going to turn to possible persons of interest or prime suspect number 1, 2, and maybe 3, and turn to them and say, "Oh, you passed. Good job. See you later." No. Thank you so much. We'll be in touch soon. Don't go anywhere, don't leave town or something like that. But they still left town. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So, interesting. Now, we already understand that allegedly Chris Proudfoot is going to be doing some sort of poly, but he's going to be doing it with TBI, if I'm correct, which is interesting. He won't do the Nancy Grace polygraph, but he's willing to do the TBI polygraph. That's weird to me, too. Okay. But Seth did do the polygraph. Allegedly, he apparently, not allegedly, he apparently fell asleep during the polygraph test. That's pretty wild. I don't look at that in any way, shape, or form, other than a person that is really tired. But at the same time, I am curious how those results will turn out. But I even asked Seth himself, does he know the results of his polygraph? He's like, how would I know? He's like, I don't know. How would I know? So whatever rumor that's floating around saying that the polygraph test came back negative, that is a rumor. And there is nothing so far that I've heard about saying otherwise. Okay? Or saying that it is the actual truth. Just saying that out loud. Also, I want to remind you, there was somebody that called into the show a little bit ago, a while back when we were discussing and covering this case. All right. And they even said, they used to work. They were covering a lot of like S crimes and all that. If my memory serves me correctly. And she even said, no, they wouldn't tell you that kind of stuff. They're not going to tell you if you passed or it came back negative. They're not going to do that. They're going to hold that information and then keep watching you and see what you do. So regardless, with the theories of thinking that Seth has something to do with this or not, whatever it may be, that information about him not passing the poly has not come out as true. Like I said, people get very, very entertained on putting out stuff that's not solid information. So, just saying that out loud, y'all. Okay? And it's frustrating, okay? Because, we're out here we're all of us, every single last one of y'all that are in the chat, you guys are highly intelligent, okay? Sometimes too intelligent for your own good, and your mind goes wild. Mind goes wild, and then it stays stuck on that theory, and it never changes. It doesn't avert. So I'm here to tell you guys, a lot of the information that has been out as of the past 24 hours, maybe 48 hours, is not accurate. There is not a criminal investigation going on right now at all. Seth did do the poly. I asked him about it coming back positive or negative. He says, why would I know? They're not going to tell me that. FBI knocking on the door. Not true. Knocking on the door of the Proudfoots. Not true. One thing is true, though. They have shut down their Facebooks and all that stuff. All their social media, they have shut that stuff down, which I expected them to do that a long time ago. And again, that doesn't mean an admission of guilt. It doesn't, but it is interesting. Okay? Now, that's the other thing. You know what, Chandra? Damn good question. Where's Chris's poly? When is that actually going down? Because apparently there was a rumor. Don't know if this is true. This is the part that I'm going, okay, rumor, don't know if it's true, have not been able to debunk it or not. But allegedly he was supposed to be doing his polygraph around the same day as Seth. That's one piece that I do not know whether that is true or not. Okay? Udi, you're right. Pascal hasn't said anything. Seth has not said himself. He said he fell asleep. Okay? Real talk. He did. Now, that's not an admission of guilt. That's just somebody who's tired and fell asleep. Maybe the questions were boring. I don't know. You know what I mean? Maybe he's like, you bore me. And he just went to sleep. I don't know how it went down. That's very interesting. But you also got to remember, this is a guy who has not been sleeping, who's been running like crazy. He is on pain meds now. He's doing like physical therapy for his injury and all that. I mean, you know, you add all those factors in. Yeah, I could see something happening like that. You know, he's not sitting there watching The Matrix or something. You know, he's not doing something super exciting. You know, so I'm putting those things into consideration. But that does not mean that he's going to fail the poly. You see what I'm saying? But I digress. Let's continue on. All right, I got some video I want to share with you guys because, like I said, I got questions about these things. First, I want to share with you guys the video, okay? About this, like, what would it take to turn this into a criminal investigation? This is by Nick Barris. I want to share this with you guys, so let's rock and roll.
Authorities say they will not rule out foul play, but they will not say that there is a criminal investigation into the Sebastian Rogers case. Why not? Well, I talked to District Attorney Ray Whitley about what it might take to perhaps make an arrest. Sebastian disappeared from his Hendersonville home more than 6 weeks ago. Since then, professionals and volunteers searching for the 15-year-old have found nothing, no trace. Have you found evidence of Sebastian yourself when you've been out there? No. So how does a teen with autism walking from a home barefoot in the middle of the night just with a flashlight disappear? Experts say children rarely simply vanish completely on their own. Could others be involved in Sebastian's case?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
Okay, now I got to jump in and out of here because, you know, this is how we got to do it. Now, interesting that we saw this same chief, okay, on the stand during this press conference, and he said, he didn't say it like that. I will say that, okay? He didn't say it like that. But at the same time, I don't know, maybe he's finally saying, okay, we don't have everything yet, blah, 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 you know, and explaining a little bit more. And I get it. Police are going to hold a lot of things close. They're going to hold a lot of information. We as the public, aside from maybe some really, really nosy, and I mean nosy in a positive way, but very inquisitive, let's just say that, inquisitive, investigative journalism, all right? Outside of them unearthing or pulling out information, so on and so forth, we know maybe 15%, if even that, into this investigation. I'm sure they have a whole lot more. You got to remember, I'm sure, have security cam footage from all the places that Sebastian went to before Texas Roadhouse, all that stuff, and then some. And then hours and hours, I'm sure, of content from Ring cameras, etc., around the house depicting possible, well, they say no activity except for Sebastian taking out the trash. So that's it. And I'm sure they have way more than that. Way more. And all the people that they've probably looked into or investigated on throughout this whole thing. Let's be real. There's a lot more Okay? There's a lot more than what we know. But it is still interesting that he's saying, hey, no person is off the table, which is nice to hear him say that with his own mouth. I'm going to roll that back, though. It is nice to hear him say that. I'm going to be real.
Be involved in Sebastian's case?
We have not cleared anyone, but we have absolutely no evidence to support foul play.
Now, I'm sorry, I have to say this one more thing. Remember, you got the Proudfoots going on interviews and shows and Nancy Grace and saying, we're cleared. We're fine. We're in the clear. Remember all that? They've been saying that. We're not suspects. We've been released. Not according to Sheriff Deputy right here. He ain't saying that. Now he's saying all options, all possibilities. No one has been cleared. Thank you. Thank you, 5-0. Thank you for clarifying that. Thank you. And thank you, Nick Barris, for putting this information out. Dag nabbit. No one is in the clear. Everything is still on the table. You know why? Because there's no kid present. Sebastian has not been found, and there is no clues to this. They will continue to be on the table. They will continue to not be cleared until there's evidence to show them otherwise. And I think we all need to send that home for all of us. And I will say this too, just to be completely real. This also keeps Seth on the table too. It does. Until we hear something different. That does not mean, go after him. There allegedly is information, footage, video showing him at work. But they're still saying not everybody's still on the table. So that still includes Seth too. Okay? That's just how the cookie crumbles here. Let's continue, guys.
Though they certainly do have theories, so what would it take to call this now a criminal investigation? General Whitley tells me there has to be something, physical evidence, blood, Sebastian's clothing, a flashlight, or security video, or an eyewitness implicating someone. But at this point, the simple fact is there's nothing. But that's not.
There is nothing, which is still absolutely crazy to me, okay? This is still absolutely crazy that there still is nothing. And I'm frustrated. I know all y'all are frustrated. All y'all are frustrated. We're all frustrated. We're all on the same page. We all want this figured out. We do. But they still have nothing. Even Seth said on the show, this kid just levitated out the house. How's that even possible? Barefoot. Doesn't matter if he took a shower or not. He left no trace, allegedly no trace behind him. Now, I want to point out, though, too, they say no evidence, nothing, no trace, they state, when I hear no evidence and there's nothing, they're not sitting here saying anything about a trace or scent or footsteps. They're not saying that at all. When they say nothing, from my understanding, they really mean nothing.
Not to say that can't change, and General Whitley says he stays in contact with authorities, ready to prosecute if it does. Sumner County EMA Director Ken Widener says his crews are on call 24/7, ready to go when investigators contact them with new leads on potential evidence.
And anytime the sheriff's office indicates or TBI indicates where you've got an area of interest that we need to search, we're ready to go.
You can see the sophisticated mapping system showing the ground they've covered. Sadly, to date, no confirmed sightings and no indication whatsoever of what happened to Sebastian. Authorities still assume that Sebastian is alive and that he will be found safe. If that's not the case, then his body must be found. Without it or any other physical evidence, we may never know what happened to the teen.
Now, of course, finding him or finding his remains is definitely numero uno. And of course, there's a lot of people that are still holding on to hope. A lot of people are still hoping that he's okay, he's somewhere safe and sound, and he just needs to be found. But he is nowhere to be found so far. And they have nothing, no proof of anything. It's pretty wild. But we do know a few things that are a little bit weird. The motions or the movement done by the Proudfoots, that is very odd. How they're out here maneuvering and handling things out here in these streets is very, very odd. Okay? So for me, at least, I look at that situation. I see how they're doing things. I find that to be a bit weird. That's just me. I know that there's other people out here that feel some type of way or feel different than me. It's fine. This is how the world is. That's why we have two sides of the fence. Shoot, sometimes three, just depending on how you're looking at it, right? But I think that is important for us to realize that the common goal should be trying to find Sebastian. And of course, all of us want to see justice if justice needs to be had. Something happened here. Something bad happened to this kid. We can all agree on that. He's not anywhere to be found. So something happened. Bad. Either he was picked up, which is bad. Either he was kicked out of the house, which is bad. Or some sort of accident happened. Okay. In the house, or outside the house, or in that car, or after they left Texas Roadhouse. There are so many possibilities here, guys. So many. And what sucks about it is that they're all still on the table. Because we don't have the answers to everything. Because as this reporter just said, Nick Barris just said, we have nothing. They have nothing. They've gone through woods. They've gone through ponds. They've gone through bodies of water. They've even gone through landfills. Real talk, they've even gone through landfills, y'all. And they have found nothing. So where is this poor kid at? I'll tell you what, he for damn sure ain't in Seth's house. I'll tell you that. I don't know how blowing his nose turns into a kid's voice, but that's a new one for me. That's a new one for me. But he's not in that house. Do you know how many live videos Seth has done? How many interviews, podcasts, etc.? You don't think that he's walked around the house on his phone? You don't think someone captured something? Like I said, I appreciate the energy, but dang, we need to calm down a little bit. Just a little bit. All right. Sandra, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Thank you so much. And just like Sandra, please become a member. That'd be greatly appreciated. That'd be greatly, greatly appreciated. Like, I just need to explain this to you. You know, getting emails like that is disheartening. Getting messages like that is disheartening. People were reaching out to me by any means necessary in the most craziest of ways to basically say things that are not true. And I'm like, wow, whoa. Y'all need to hold on. Time out. Time out. People are getting upset at me. And I'm like, what do I have to do with this? I'm just asking questions, just like all y'all are asking questions. Being accused of things when I have no connection. Now, I don't even live in the area. It's bad. It's frustrating. It really, really is. April, Thank you so much. It absolutely blows my mind on the amount of stupidity that some people have, and they really think they have cracked the case. Now, I'm just reading her super chat. I wouldn't say stupidity. I just think that people get super, super passionate, very gung-ho, and we're at the brink of what's the word? We're at the brink of insanity. That's what I think. We're at the brink of that because we don't know anything. We have no signs of anything at all. Just like that reporter just said, they still have zero, nothing. This kid just disappears out of nowhere. We feel very connected to this case. And I'm with you guys. I'm with you 100% on feeling connected to this case and wanting to know what the hell happened here. It's driving me crazy. And I think that there is a point of desperation of wanting to crack the case, wanting to solve it, and wanting to be the person to solve it. It's been 46 days of hearing nothing but where is Sebastian and still coming up with nothing. So I get the passion. I get the speculations. Shoot, I get it, the tinfoil hats. But that was a little extreme. Blowing his nose is a bit extreme. And then turning it into something where it seems like myself is withholding information. That gets into the bizarre, and that gets into the insane. Like I said, I appreciate the energy, but whoa. Primrose, thank you so much. In your best Rick James, super freak style, those rumors are super reach. They're super reachy. Oh, okay. Sorry for all the ish. Keep up the fantastic work. Oh, yeah, I'm going to keep on going. I'm not going to stop. I mean, it is what it is. And I get it. It sometimes the pendulum will swing, and it's swinging kind of hard in this one particular area. And so now I'm trying to swing it back over to what matters the most, which is finding Sebastian, right? Jen, thank you so much. I'm thinking TBI told CP to not take the test polygraph because they are gathering evidence against him and don't want him exposed yet. Possibly. Maybe. That's a possibility, right? That's a good possibility. But I feel that if he's already they've already ran. The damage is done. What's done is done. They're gone. They're not in that house anymore. They're somewhere else. Sure, they're at the Yogi Bear campsite or whatever the hell's called. Sure, they're over there, but they're nowhere near Hendersonville. They're in Mississippi right now. So if he was to do the polygraph test, I don't think it would change anything, to be completely honest. He'd probably drive to Louisiana. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. Carbonized, thank you so much. It's gross to me that so many folks are consumed with smearing one parent searching for Sebastian and not actually finding Sebastian. Yep. I agree. I do think it's kind of weird. You see someone who is actively out here, and I'm not sitting here saying that automatically means that he's innocent, but at the same time, you see one person's actions and you see another two people's actions. And people are now running with he got him. Seth's got Sebastian. That's, just beyond me. Nancy, thank you so much. Talking about clothes he was wearing as Seth hasn't heard from TBI. Yes. So I don't know if he's heard from TBI about the clothing. Okay. But I do know that he did reach out to TBI. And that's the other thing too. Some people are thinking that he didn't actually text TBI when he was live on the show with me. He texted TBI. He did. Like I said, I just feel like sometimes there's this need or this energy to try to find something that's not there. He texted TBI. I believe that. I really, really do. Charlie Miller, thank you so much. Your Nancy Grace impression is one of a kind. I mean, you watch enough Nancy Grace. I'm a big fan. Okay. I'm a big fan. I appreciate the content and the stories she covers. Sorry. So I do appreciate it. Yeah, it's kind of hard not to try to do it. And it's out of love. Real talk. It really is out of love. Tipsy, what's up? Thank you so much for the 20. Thank you. I appreciate it. A nose blow, a possible hello. Thank you for the clarification. Yeah. Like I said, people were going into chat rooms and having this conversation. And I'm like, this is him blowing his nose. He does it again later. It's not the first time he blows his nose in that phone call. He blows his nose. Even so, I could even give it to you guys that maybe he moves a chair, like a chair's getting moved across a floor or something like that, because it kind of sounds like that a little bit, but it doesn't sound like any kid saying hello. Okay? It really doesn't. Cove, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. Based, thank you so much. I suspect an illegal lured him out the window. Hey, at this point, anything's possible. Okay? Anything's possible except for aliens. Okay? Anything's possible except for aliens. All right? Black Widow, thank you so much. Do you think it's possible that KP has codes to empty properties / alarms? Yeah. Something to think about. I'm gonna say this. I got some okay. I've had a lot of time to think about this, and I got theories. So I'm gonna say them right now. Because I'm sure somebody out here may know some information. And I go, please look into this, love. All right. I'm going to pull that back up. Sorry. Nope, I lost it. Okay. Great question. I have questions. And again, this is just questions. Don't know if this is true. Don't know if it's accurate. Don't know a doggone thing. I'm just a man who has a brain, who knows the difference between a kid saying hello and the sound of a man blowing his nose. So this is the question I have, okay? Do the Proudfoots or the Bower Sox have any properties? I'm going to ask that again. Do the Proudfoots or the Bower Sox own any properties? Now, I feel like I asked this to Seth like a few shows back because, I haven't gotten a chance to talk to the Proudfoots. Okay. So I asked him that question, and I feel like he said something along the lines of, yes, that there is properties out there. So my next question that I ask him from my own head is, because once I hear about properties and Brinks codes and all that stuff, right, from that super chat, the next question I have in my mind is, if they own other properties, and if they own a bunch of properties, have they investigated, have they searched those properties at all? And if that is a no, they might want to start looking into those properties as well. From my understanding, Proudfoots, Bower Sox, however you want to name them, have money. They're a successful family. They have Mounties. In what? I don't know. I'm thinking there's some real estate involved in there. I'm sure if there is real estate and they own these properties or own other properties, there is a strong possibility that he could be in those properties. So I'm just saying that out loud. Are there other properties owned by the Proudfoots or the Bower Sox? And if that is true, have they investigated those places or no? And if they haven't, they need to start looking into it. Law enforcement, if you're watching the show right now, hello. Look into those properties. I beg you. Do it. Do it. Because you never know. He may be holed up in a house with a gang of food, all the internet and TV he can get. You never know. Just something to think about. Something to think about. Moving on. John, thank you so much. Just like you don't like me being accused, the accusing people of be trolls for ask questions about the case and Seth. Okay. I don't know what that is, but John, like me being accused, your mods, the accusing people of be trolls for ask questions about the case and Seth. You might need to rephrase that for me, my brother, because that is a little choppy of a super chat. Okay, but I'll keep an eye out for it if you do rewrite that. All right, let's go into this. The 5 Canes. Thank you so much. Opinion on Brink, the 2 Brink trucks at CP and KP's house all afternoon. I don't know. My only thought is maybe she went and maybe she bulked up her security over there. I mean, she does know what Brinks provides as far as security, right? She works or worked there. So I could see her going like, I need an upgrade. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. That's the only thing I can think of. Because I don't think that it's anything bigger. Like, why would they have any doing with Sebastian's disappearance? But I keep thinking maybe they're bulking up their security. They've gotten enough people driving by the house, driving by their RV, screaming all kinds of stuff to them while they drive past their campsite and all that. Maybe they're going, okay, I need better security. Let's bulk up our security. That could possibly be it. Miss Curvy, thank you so much for the 20 pounds. I really do appreciate this super sticker. Thank you so much. Black Witter, thank you so much for being a member for the past 3 months. Practice delete this mods go. Okay, practice delete this mods go. If you find it. All right, moving on. Olivia, thank you so much. I love you. Thank you for keeping Sebastian's name out there. Katie lied about not having security. CP travels. She works for Brinks. See, that's the thing. Allegedly, there were cameras or are cameras inside that house as well. She was not telling the full truth about that. That is absolutely the truth there. That is actually true. We hear later that there is some sort of security in the house. But I will say this, though, too. If police have obtained the footage from inside the house and something sinister happened inside the house, they would have seen that and they would have arrested her or Chris a long time ago. So something's not right. Something's weird. And I'm wondering if we're ever going to find out about that. If they're going to release the footage from inside the house. And I'm kind of begging them to do that at some point. I know it doesn't solidify a lot of our speculations and theories on the Proudfoots doing something sinister or doing something unthinkable. But at the same time, I would love to hear or to see that footage, just to see the activity inside the house. Do we see Sebastian walking in and out? Do we see him doing his thing, playing with the puppies, playing on his phone, being a kid inside the house? I'm curious. And then when the lights go off and it's nighttime, do we see any activity inside the house, in the main rooms, wherever these cameras are, right? So it's something to think about. Olivia, thank you so much for that. Lady, thank you. Why would they hide him somewhere that's linked to themselves? Self-sabotage as F. Love your show. You know, that's a good question too. Why would they do that? Of course they wouldn't do something like that. They're not that crazy. Are they though? Something to think about. Hold on. I saw something in the corner of my eye and I wanted to pull this up before it disappears. If I can find it. Hold on, guys. Where the heck is it? Dang, where the hell did it go? That's frustrating because it's a comment that I think is good. Well, I'm going to read it off of here because I see it over here. Okay, so Jessica says the camera's conveniently not working and the outside lights being off is sus. Yes, so the outside lights were off, but then the lights in the around the garage stay on 24/7. That's a little bit weird. That is weird, guys. That is definitely weird. So let's move on. Okay, I got a little bit more. Okay, thank you, Nancy. Chris, mom has property with graveyard on it and house. Ooh, but people couldn't get on it. Interesting. So, okay, I'm not crazy. So something to think about. Like I said, properties, etc. Possibility of maybe he's there. You see what I'm saying? And from my understanding, we haven't heard anything about those properties. We haven't heard anything about law enforcement looking into those properties. So all you search and rescue individuals that are watching this show right now, if you are actually watching this show, I appreciate y'all. Please go. Ask if you could search those properties. It may be nothing. But at least it's something. You know what I'm saying? At least it's something, dagnabbit. We ain't got nothing. We're hearing from reporters, etc., saying we ain't got nothing. So at least it's something. Because people are re-canvassing and diving in places that have already been drained. They're going back and looking at places that have already been looked at. And I get it. There's nothing wrong with re-canvassing, re-walking areas, etc. I get that. But you think that suddenly you're going to find him in that spot again that you already did 2 days before? Like I said, it's just weird. It's just weird. Truth and justice. Thank you so much, Chris. I told Katie to go home. Was it a three-way? Truth and justice. I don't know what you mean by that. I told Katie to go home. Was it? Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. The three-way call with 50, which, by the way, it wasn't a 911 call. It was directly to the sheriff's office. Am I wrong or am I right? The three-way call, when she called him and said, Sebastian's gone, right? He goes and calls three-way. Not to 911, but to the sheriff's office. Direct line to the sheriff's office, right? Because he even said in the interview, I don't want to go and wait on that 911 call, so I call straight into the sheriff's line. Interesting. Wouldn't you say? So in other words, wouldn't that mean he got some sort of connect with 50 that's deeper than just knowing a couple cops from the local bar that might be, pulling you over for some traffic tickets or speeding or rolling through a stop sign? He called directly through to the sheriff's line, to the sheriff's office. Think about that for a second. I know a couple cops. Okay? Good guys. Really, really good guys. But if something happens, I'm calling 911. I'm not calling directly to an officer's line, let alone calling directly to the sheriff's office. That's crazy. That's not crazy, but that's wild. It's almost like getting the VIP treatment, right? It's like, all right, I'm going to cut through all this traffic real quick, and I'm going to get VIP by calling the sheriff's phone number, his phone directly. That's wild, y'all. That's wild. And then he was on three-way with Katie and the sheriff's office. Direct line. I don't even know I don't know any sheriff's phone number. Okay. I'm just calling 911 instantly. So isn't that interesting? I find that a little bit interesting. Okay. Maybe some of you guys do too, but that's very interesting nonetheless. Okay. Truth and Justice. Thank you. Chris said, I knew who to call. Sheriff. I called the sheriff. Yup. Ain't that weird? That's weird though. Everybody else would call 911. Naturally. I mean, unless you best friends with the sheriff or which is still weird because I feel like you'd still be calling 911. You're calling the sheriff's phone number directly. You're calling his office directly. Do you see how weird that's weird, y'all? That's weird. That's weird. No matter what, I'm calling 911. I don't give a damn if I know the sheriff personally. I'm calling that gut reaction 911. I'm not calling the sheriff. I'm calling 911. That's weird, right? Okay. But he did say that. He did. I called directly into the sheriff's office because I didn't want to wait on the 911. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. So you called directly to the sheriff. All right. Nice to know that you are that connected to the sheriff's office like that. Nice to know that y'all are tight. But it is interesting when you look at everything else that we've been hearing and talking about thus far. There's been a lot of questions. He had a ride along. He was able to go and check out the investigation from 5-0. They have not done that for the biological father, not once. They haven't done that for Seth Rogers. Why? They've done it for Chris, and Chris is in an RV down by the river. So why won't you do that for the man who's out here advocating for the search, advocating for the finding of his biological son? Like, I hope 5-0 is watching this. Somebody, some little, deputy is sitting here watching the show and all that. Shout out to y'all. Real talk. Appreciate the service. But at the same time, hook your man up. What the hell? Hook him up. He's completely in the dark. And optically, that does not look good for local law enforcement. It just doesn't. It's crazy, 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 crazy. KF, thank you. Test sleeping, comfy, not lying. BJ's KP. Buy shoes. You might have to rewrite that, my friend. Test sleeping, comfy, not lying. BJ's KP. Buy shoes. I don't know what that means, guys. Somebody translate that for me, please. Please and thank you. Melissa, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Okay. I just saw something that was crazy. Hold on. Why can't I find it here? This is so annoying. Yeah, Ash said something that I find to be very interesting as well. McDougal got a ride along. Remember? He did, didn't he? He did. Even that monster, I ain't got no clothes on. He even got a ride along during the Audrey Cunningham case. Ain't that about it? Man, see what I'm saying? And then Seth, who I think I believe has nothing to do with the disappearance of his son, is out here looking for his son, hasn't even gotten a ride along or having any type of meetings, letting him know what is going on. That is crazy to me. And it hurts my heart because he's the one person of all that should know what's going on. Not Chris. Chris is gone. Chris is vacating, guys. That's messed up. Lucci, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Lady, thank you. Listen, we are broke, and 50 characters is not enough sometimes. No kidding, lady. Oh my Lord, ain't that the truth? Okay, and I get it. It's hard out here for a pimp. Okay, I get it. All right, Stephanie, thank you so much for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. So you know what? What I'm going to do is, what I am going to do. All right. I'm going to open up the phone lines, okay? And you know the procedure, all right? Don't be an ass, or I hang up on that ass. Be respectful. I will be respectful. Keep it short and sweet if you can. That'd be greatly appreciated as well. But of course, let me know your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on all this. We have not gotten a chance to really chop it up with any of y'all about any of this stuff, really, as far as everything that has transpired. And it has been absolutely crazy lately, okay? Hold on. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Pascal. This is Dolphin517. I'm calling from Atlanta. How are you doing?
I'm good. Calling from the ATL. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Hey, yeah, I just typed a couple of comments because I was trying to clear up two things. What you said about the 911 call and the sheriff's office.
Yeah.
One, if Chris were supposedly out of town, him calling 911 would have routed him to wherever he was, the dispatcher wherever he was.
Very good point.
Instead of where Katie's house is.
Good point.
Okay, that's the first thing. It's legit, but he's still a little sus. And my second point is, when you live outside of an incorporated area if you're out in the burbs of a major city, the sheriff's department is who comes out and services your area, not the police. So where I live outside of, Atlanta, we have a sheriff's department and we have police. And I actually do have both non-emergency numbers saved in my phone, for specific times when I hear something and I want to call, but I don't want to call 911. So it's people who live outside, like where they are. They're outside of Nashville or whatever, and they're in an unincorporated area. They would probably know their sheriff's number, and be used to calling.
Yeah, no. You know what? I appreciate you bringing in this clarity because that's a very that's a very strong point. That's a very, very good point. Yeah. You're absolutely right. He would not call 911. You're right. He would be catching Memphis or wherever he is, that 911 dispatch. So you're absolutely right. Man, that's interesting. I guess he had time to think about it, or maybe he just said, let me look this up. I can't call. But then I would automatically go, why wouldn't she just call three-way herself? See what I'm saying? Call 911 herself. Sure, he could have Googled it. He could have Googled the number and said, okay, sheriff's office, the number to the direct line to the sheriff's office. Sure. He's like, okay, babe, I'm going to get down to the bottom of it. And I get it. She could have been frazzled. She could have been extremely concerned and all that. We got to put all those things into consideration. We got to keep it fair to a certain extent. So sure. But it's so interesting calling 911 in that way, or calling them in that way.
And I'm not letting them off the hook.
I don't think you are.
Their behavior
I appreciate
completely suspicious.
Listen, I appreciate you saying that. No, you're absolutely no. I appreciate you clearing that up, because I think that's one thing I'm sure a lot of us, even myself until now, have had in the back of their minds, going, "What's up with that?" You know what I mean? What's up with that? So I
Right.
appreciate you calling in and just clarifying that. That's very true, very smart from downtown. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you so much for calling.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. Hey, you're on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Pascal. My name is Sophie Grace, and I'm calling from Charlotte.
Hi, Sophie Grace. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Yeah. I'm wondering if there were any firearms owned by the couple, and if possible, maybe this big day out that Mom shared with Sebastian was just maybe a one last time, and then possibly did away with them on the way home.
From my understanding, I think they're both ex-military, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
I don't.
I think they are. Now I could be wrong, but I could have sworn either she is or both of them are.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's her.
Yeah, I know that she is ex-military for sure. I don't know. He might be. I'm not sure. But no matter what, the possibility of them actually owning a firearm is highly likely. Okay, I don't know.
Right.
I know a lot of ex-military, and all of them, I'm telling you, all of them that I know personally own some sort of firearm. Okay, 100%. So that is very interesting. And that is a question I think that would be good. But if there was some sort of gun going off, if a pew pew went pew pew, I feel like there would have been sound, like somebody would have heard something of some sort. I feel like that's something that people should put into consideration as well. But
not if you're on a desolate road.
That's true.
So
that's true. Well, I mean,
okay,
we'll see. I appreciate you calling in.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Guess I lost that one. Hey, you on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hi, this is Ash. I'm the one that commented just a little bit ago. A couple things.
Can you get closer to the mic? Because it's really hard to hear you. You sound far away.
All right. How's that better?
Oh, a lot better. Hi.
Okay. I was on a headphone set. Okay. So
what's your
a
name
couple
again?
things that stand out to me. Ash.
Ash. Okay. Thank you. What's on your mind?
Yep. Okay. So a couple things that stand out to me is one, they always ask him when he was home last. They don't ask him when he was in Hendersonville last. That's one thing that stands out. In the car ride, I think the car ride with the police is for them to, I think because they're looking at him more. I don't think they're taking Seth around because they're not looking at him. Like when they took McDougal, they knew that his ass was guilty. You know what I'm saying?
Good point.
So I think they took him for a ride just to pay attention to how he was acting and, just pay a little bit closer attention to.
Then I would. Okay, good point. But let me ask you this then. Just a little throwback. Okay. If they believed or felt that he could possibly be a suspect in this case, why wouldn't they just have him do a poly? That's one thing I'm kind of curious about. Why would they say, no need to do a poly, you're good, and let him ride along if there was suspicion? Go ahead.
I don't think that. I think that his ass is making that up. I don't think that, I don't know. I don't think that Ellie said that to him. And I wonder, did he take the polygraph? A lot of people are blaming Seth now because he's on medication and he admitted to falling asleep during the polygraph.
Yeah.
But he's on the gabapentin, and gabapentin makes people drowsy.
Yeah.
I wish that he probably wouldn't have went off his meds at least for the day that he took the polygraph, but there's no way. He was on camera in the prison the entire time. There's no way that, unless he hired somebody. That's the only way that I think that Seth would be possible,
Yeah. No,
but
good.
no, I don't know. My eyes are on the Bower Sox and the Proudfoots because they are sus with everything in my eyes.
They move in how they're moving out here in these streets is very odd, and that's why it's like you see blatant movements that make no sense, and then you look at what Seth is doing, And I'm still kind of, and I get it. I sound biased with this information, with this, just by looking at these two things, though. Because optically,
it's hard to look at anything else.
Absolutely,
right now because of the way that they've acted.
Absolutely, because optically, one looks very suspicious, and another one's doing exactly what we would do if we were in their shoes. So that's why it's like, I don't understand why people are attacking Seth all of a sudden. That just seems so odd. But of course, he's still on the table until he is not on the table anymore.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much for calling.
No problem. Thank you. Yep.
All right.
Have a good night. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah. Like I said, I mean, it is pretty wild, y'all. I'm going to keep it real. It is pretty wild. Yes. You know, it's very easy for us to lean on one side or the other and all that. But of course, it is very optically, it's so easy to choose, you know, the dark from the light. You see what I'm saying? It's so easy to me, at least. But let me get these calls. Hey, you on the mic with the Pascal Show? What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Tay-Tay's mom. I'm calling from Denver, Colorado. I'm going to mute you right quick on the computer.
Okay.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to look at that picture in that photo where Katie said that was chocolate milk. If you look at that picture, that mark around that baby's face is a bruise that's fading.
Are you talking about the photo that I have up right now?
No, it's the one where they did with Chronicles with Olivia, and she said she had the chocolate milk on his face.
Oh, I don't know that photo. I'm gonna have to try to find it. I can't find it right now. I mean, is it an infamous photo that they've been using? Like the interview.
Right. She said she used that photo. It was a school photo. She said that baby don't like taking pictures because he's goofy. He looks goofy. And you can see that he dribbled chocolate milk down his face. That's not chocolate milk, honey. I got a 15-year-old. I know what chocolate milk looks like.
Okay.
That is a bruise. Second of all, if Chris called the sheriff and it was not recorded, whoever he talked to at that sheriff's office needs to be investigated. Because something is not right. Why is Chris going on ride-alongs? Why is he able to call and tell people where to go search that they've already searched? You know, something does not make sense here. And then for a mother to go 3 hours away from her child where he was missing is the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life.
It is.
I have never.
You're good. It is pretty wild. I mean, all of it is pretty wild. And again, you know, we talked about this on Court TV the other night. I think it's very odd that they are not where they should be, which is at home. Because if he is to come back home, if he is going to go back, he's going to come back home. You see what I'm saying? And so it's wild that apparently they have like a note on the door or something like that for Sebastian. If he was to come back to that door of that house, I don't know. It's just so, like I said, it's just very, very odd, man. It is very, very odd.
This is worse than Letitia Stout.
Oh yeah, that was
and
a bad one too.
And Lori Daybell. This is out there.
Yeah.
I've seen and watched so many things. I've watched their videos. And I am going to tell you this, and I'm bringing it up because a lot of people don't understand. There was another YouTuber, I'm not going to mention his name, that went to Chris's job. Chris did not work that whole weekend. When he left on Friday, he told him that he was going home.
Wait, time out. Say what? You mean, okay, so wait. So just so I can make this clear, you're saying, okay, he was not there at all the whole week that Sebastian,
the whole weekend,
that same week,
that Sebastian,
so that same weekend, so the same weekend that Sebastian went missing, he wasn't at work. So then where was he calling from?
No. I'm going to tell you, because when I heard that, I was like, wait a minute, hold on. What do you mean he wasn't at work? And this came from his foreman at the construction site. He said that Chris, when he left Friday, he told him he was going home.
Wow.
And now all of a sudden, Sebastian's missing. But it was right after, if you remember, it was right after.
Wait. Can
It
you?
was right before.
Can you?
What's that child's name?
Can you tell me? Well, can you tell me what show that actually was? That show that says that, because that's something I'm interested in.
It was on
seeing.
JLR. I'm going to say
Is that
JLR.
is that recent, or is this old?
Yes, just a few days ago. Just a few days ago,
Okay.
before he went back to Florida.
I'll take a look at it.
He said that Chris was not at work. And I'm thinking, okay, well, if Chris wasn't at work, that means Chris was at home. Katie had took baby boy out to eat and do all this fun stuff.
Right.
Chris was getting ready to go into a custody case with Nina.
Huh.
A few days later, remember, he had that custody case for his baby girl.
Interesting.
And then Chris made a statement on one of them channels. He said, you don't want to know the truth about Sebastian, because if the truth gets out, nobody will look for him, not even the police.
Yeah, so Seth did talk about that on this show, and he clarified that. And it was because of what happened to Sebastian when he was around 8 years old. That's what Chris was alluding to, that if people found out that he had been SA'd as a kid, that people would think of him as some sort of predator out here, as some sort of monster, and nobody would want to have him, nobody would want to go and find him. And this is what we heard
that
from
gives you
Seth.
all the more right to want to go find him.
Absolutely.
To me, that's a child. That child didn't know what he was doing at 7 or 8 years old.
Absolutely.
Come on now.
Absolutely. But I appreciate you calling in. Thank you so much for the info. I'm going to take a look at that and see what's up with that when I get done with this show. But that is very interesting. So thank you so much for the call. Appreciate you.
No problem. And you were good on Court TV, by the way.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that, sweetheart. Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, interesting. I don't know about all that. That is some new information. If that was, but I'm also wondering if that stuff has been debunked. You see what I'm saying? If that's been debunked, if that's been confirmed, because I feel like if that was confirmed, the internet would have been on fire. I would have heard about this. Him not actually being at his work on the, him not being at work around the time that Sebastian went missing. That is crucial info. Crucial. But I'm very interested to see. Okay. Very interested to see. But I'm wondering where it actually came from. If it wasn't JLR, then who was it actually from? That's one thing I'm very interested in hearing about. But like I said, some people can get, things mixed up, information misconstrued. Maybe it was something that was old news that was debunked later. You see what I'm saying? Which is a possibility as well. And we have to be, and I understand some people are not fully up to date with the case. You turn away for 24 hours and there's a slew of new things that happen. And then you feel like you're a month behind. It does happen. So I will take that info with a grain of salt, and I'll take a look at that when if I can find any more info about that. I'm putting the phone number back in the chat one more again. Okay. Hold on, guys. I just put it back in the chat, but it's not showing up on the thing. Hold on. Let me try that again. Badao. Hey, you on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
From Nashville, Tennessee, Alexis.
Alexis, how you doing? Thank you so much for calling in. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Just about Seth. Everyone's saying he fell asleep. People are saying they think that that's, guilty. I do not think so. I think that's just a father who's been searching for his child. He's tired. He's exhausted, probably. I think maybe the Proudfoots wanted that to get out, as if, maybe putting some blame on him. I will say I went searching last week, and I did drive by the Proudfoots house.
Okay.
There's a sign in their yard. There's one in the front of their neighborhood. However, there is not one at Chris's parents' house. There's not a sign in the yard. That's really strange to me. You would think if that was your grandkid missing, why would you not have a sign in your yard? I do think law enforcement in Alaska, they definitely need to be, all over this. The Proudfoot's parents were in Alaska 2 or 3 days after he went missing. That's just, what's your take on that?
Oh, it's weird. That's weird. I mean, I'm telling you right now, they allegedly had a private jet or a private plane, and they drove. So to me, that tells me they could have postponed their trip for later. This is your son's stepson, your step grandson. This is family. And just like Vin Diesel, you don't turn your back on family. You don't ever do that. Family over everything. Family. Right? So it doesn't make any sense that he would do something, that they would do something like that. Clearly, they could have rescheduled their flight. Clearly, they could have rescheduled their road trip cross country. They could have done all of that and so much more. And they didn't. They still ended up doing that. And to me, again, that doesn't mean that's an admission of guilt. Does not mean smoking gun evidence that they were up to no good. But it also shows how selfish and the dynamics of the family. They chose a trip over trying to find ways to help find Sebastian. I think that's jacked up. Same thing with them in the RV, out in a out at a campsite. I feel that's extremely self-centered.
Yes, and my thing is too about with the RV. Yeah. And I was on Bullhorn Betty. I spoke on there, and I called in, and this is my thing too. Why, I get it. Law enforcement can't steal everything. Mm-hmm. They don't want. There's certain things they can't say, but also they have told us, they've searched the house, they've searched different bodies of water, they've had divers here and there. Why have they not told us? Okay, we've searched the RV. Mm-hmm. We haven't found anything. To me, the RV being searched is a key. Like that's what they've been in the whole time. Why are we not searching that? Why is it not being released? I mean, it's been 43, 44, maybe we're on day 45 at this point. It's been a long time. That's something that is crazy to me.
Yeah.
It's almost like Chris, the Proudfoot, they have something in with law enforcement. The call wasn't recorded when he called in. They're not leaking if they're searching the RV. Why don't they have dogs go through the RV? No idea.
Yeah. Obviously something is not right now. Is that it? Does that have something to do with the RV? I don't know. But I feel like every vehicle, every domicile, every piece of property that the family, that the Proudfoots or the extended family own need to be looked into. Period. You know what I mean? I think that that is incredibly important for sure. So, I think everything should be looked into. They should be turning over everything, every freaking thing, everywhere, because it's wild that there's no evidence. And I don't know. I just want to know the truth, just like everybody else. You know what I mean? I'm going crazy just like everybody else. I want to know the truth just as badly. But the fact that they have come up with nothing still blows my mind. But thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
My name is Melissa Jones, and I'm actually calling from Ripley, Mississippi.
All right. How you doing, Melissa? Thank you so much for calling in. What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Well, we're all upset with the police thinking they're not doing their job, but we also have to remember how long did it take them to actually arrest Brian Kohberger? They said they didn't have nothing there, but they had a ton of evidence on him before they even leaked the picture of his car. So I believe that the police actually have a lot more than what they're saying. And I believe the reason why they're letting the Proudfoots go and do what they want to do is hoping that maybe they would do something to incriminate themselves even further.
Absolutely. You are not wrong with that. I will say this. I agree. Law enforcement could be doing this and just taking the hits by everybody. You see what I'm saying? Even myself. Okay. Cause I've gone off on law enforcement here too. They could be sitting on a mountain of information and just not telling everybody anything. That could very well be it. Right. What I think is frustrating is that we are relying on information from liars. Let me say that again. We're relying on information and we're holding on information from liars. So, for example, Chris Proudfoot saying, "Oh yeah, we're not suspects. We're in the clear," and all that stuff. They've been out here saying those things all over social media, all on these interviews, etc. And we're holding on to those at bated breath like that is scripture, when that's actually not the truth. We just heard it in that video, right? From the sheriff, right? Saying, "Hey, no one's off the table. Like no one's been released. We're still looking into things." So I hope that Chris and Katie Proudfoot sit down, take several seats, and shut up. Stop doing these interviews. Stop trying to say things that are not true, because they've been doing nothing but lying since the time they started with these interviews in the first damn place. So that is, you're pointing out some very good points here.
100% guilty.
Oh yeah, they know something.
They are definitely guilty.
They most definitely know something.
And another thing that has
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Right, and another thing that has bothered me, and I've tried to get like different YouTubers to actually respond to me. I believe it might have been on your show. If not, it was another YouTube show that Seth had mentioned that Katie, had told him to get Sebastian a pair of boots. Well, all of the people that I know that have autistic children, they don't like change. If they like certain shoes, like why all of a sudden would you change and want to go from shoes to a pair of boots? And is the boots that Seth bought him, are they one of the 3 pairs of shoes that was accounted for? If they're not, then where are the actual boots? And how does she know that one specific flashlight is missing? I mean, I have 3 children and I couldn't tell you how many flashlights, let alone how many pairs of shoes my kids have, unless I see them, myself in them shoes and be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot you had them shoes." How does she know?
You know what? Let me tell you this.
So,
you are not wrong with that, but can I just throw a little pushback? Okay. And I feel like the Proudfoots might appreciate this. So let me just say this really quick. And I'm not Team Proudfoot. I'm still soft side-eyeing. I'm hard side-eyeing them at this point. But let me just say this though, really quick. What if their OCD is F? Think about it for a second. From what I've heard from Seth when he came onto the show, the many times he's come onto the show, we've talked about the interior of that house. He's like, it was pristine. It was clean. Absolutely everything in order, so on and so forth. The only place that was in shambles was Sebastian's room. He said that in the first phone call that he ever had with anybody, right? He had it over here on the show. Right. Shout out to the Pascal show. Anyway, he says this, and in my mind, I go, maybe Chris and Katie like a tight ship. Maybe they like their home pristine and clean and OCD. So as far as the flashlights go, maybe they have a specific method or way of holding on to having things in order. So if there is, so they might have literally like a shelf in the mud room or someplace like that where they have flashlights, and that one particular flashlight that maybe he likes to use all the time, it's gone, right? It's no longer there. His shoes,
true. I never thought of that.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not, like I said, this is the only moment that I'm like, oh, well, maybe, the Proudfoots might like me for saying this here, that maybe their place is very organized, very specific, and she knows exactly what items are in every single place. Now, I know not everybody lives that way, but there are a lot of people that do. And you got somebody, a kid, who is high functioning. He has autism. He's high functioning, but he may be very particular about the things that he uses. Maybe he only likes using that particular flashlight. So if it's gone, then you do the reverse math and go, okay, it must be with him, right? Same thing with the shoes. She probably knows exactly what shoes he's got because he's probably got shoes, very specific types of shoes that he likes to wear, right? So he might have, I don't know how many pairs of shoes he's got, but again, if he's very particular and if she's very particular about how she runs the house and how Chris runs the house as well, that may be a thing, right? So something, you know what I mean? It's definitely something to think about, you know what I mean? But I do see your point there. I do see your point, but
so were the
there's
boots
the pushback.
actually accounted for then?
That's a question. I don't know, but that is a very good question. And I feel like that should be a question that should be asked to TBI or local law enforcement and see what they say as far as the items that were found that were left behind. Because she says all of his shoes were left behind. So if that's true, that would make me assume that those boots, if they were actually purchased, would still be in that house. So it's just a matter of finding out from law enforcement if those things are accounted for or not. Right?
Right. And they're not going to tell us until they have to absolutely tell us.
Yeah. But we'll see. You know what I mean? But that's a good point, though. Something to think about. Same thing about the clothes that he was last seen wearing walking out of Texas Roadhouse. They need to find out if the Proudfoots can produce those actual clothes. If they can't produce those clothes, then shoot, boom goes the dynamite, baby. You know what I'm saying? They in trouble.
I had thought about writing that in before on your comments, but then someone else had said it, and I was like, well, there's that answer right there.
And Seth did, he heard it, and he was like, that's a good question. That's a good point or a good question to ask. And he was texting TBI as he was live on the show talking about exactly that. So we'll see what happens from here on out. Hopefully TBI is doing their job. You know what I mean? But thank you so much for calling in, sweetheart. What were we going to say?
All right, thank you.
Oh,
I was going to say, I was told that the Proudfoots were no longer at the campsite here in Mississippi.
Right.
But then I heard on your show earlier, someone had mentioned that they were still there. So which one is it? Are they there or not there? Or?
You know what? That is a good question. Wait, repeat that question one more time. I'm so sorry. I had a brain fart. Ask that question one more time.
I was under the impression that they were no longer in Mississippi at the campsite. But then I think on your show, someone else had said, maybe in one of the comments, or maybe even you had mentioned it, I'm not for sure, that they were still at the campsite, the Yogi Bear.
Right.
So are they still there or not?
I've heard rumors. I don't know what's true and what's not. So I err on the side of they're still at the Yogi Bear campsite, but I don't know. Right. I have no solidified information and no solidified evidence of them actually moving. So I'm just sitting here saying, okay, they may have moved. They may still be at the campsite, but I'll find out soon. I'll find out soon.
Well,
enough.
We'll find out too, because me and my husband are going Saturday to hand out flyers. So if they're there, we will be sure to put one near the campsite area.
Word. Well, we appreciate it. Okay. We all appreciate it. Okay. But thank you so much for calling in. Okay. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. Have a wonderful night.
You too, sweetheart. All right. Peace.
Bye-bye.
Hey, you on the mic with the Pascal Show. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
BK from Gallatin, Tennessee.
BK, what up, man? What's on your mind? Speak on it.
Hey, you were asking about locations that Proudfoots and Bowersox has had. Well, you know, Nina had mentioned about Big D, which is Guy, which is Kathy's brother, which is Chris's uncle, owns a construction business in Gallatin, second generation construction, which is the next block over from our recycling center, which is the garbage dump locally. It's actually the garbage dump where the house garbage goes to, not the one that went to Kentucky, which was the dumpster from the construction site.
Really?
So, and, you know, they're pretty popular in Gallatin as far as construction and houses, and obviously Kathy's in real estate. So that's where, you know, their money comes from, obviously.
So BK, Kathy is definitely in real estate, right?
Yeah,
you just said
yeah,
that. So I
she's a
just,
realtor.
sorry, I don't mean to repeat it again, but I just want to make sure
no,
that I
she's
heard
a
that with my own
real
2 ears.
estate.
Okay, so she's a real estate agent. Then the company, the construction company, is a second generation construction company that does a bunch of construction in the Gallatin area, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the owner of that is Kathy's brother, which is Danny Guy, which is, I don't know if you remember with Nina's story, Big D, which was his uncle, Chris's uncle.
Interesting.
So he has a construction business that's right down the street from the garbage dump.
Okay, so then
it's on a dead end street.
So then this garbage dump that you speak of. Sorry, I'm just doing all this reverse stuff. So because you said a lot in that. So the garbage dump that you're talking about. So it's not the same place that the local garbage goes and dumps at the landfill. It's a completely different garbage dump, correct?
No. Well, you have Hendersonville and Gallatin. They're suburbs of cities next to each other.
Gotcha.
The residential, the house garbage from their home gets picked up and brought to Gallatin to the recycling center or the garbage dump.
Okay.
The dumpster from the construction site, which is a commercial, is what actually was being checked at the landfill. That's why everybody was concerned about why they were shipping garbage from Tennessee to Kentucky, which didn't really make much sense.
Yeah.
But that was a contracting business, a corporation, you know, construction dumpster place, big facility place, where this is locally getting disposed of. So the house garbage went to Gallatin, but the construction from the construction site dumpster gets shipped out to Kentucky to the landfill.
So have law enforcement done any searching in that other location?
I don't know. I haven't heard of anything.
Something to think about.
But it's a, you know, obviously it's a closer to home. It's only a few miles away because it's the next town over.
Interesting. Okay. So let me just repeat this again for everybody in the nosebleed seats. The Bowersock's grandma is a real estate agent. The family, her ex-husband, right? Her ex-husband, if I'm correct, owns a construction company. All right.
No, her brother.
I'm sorry,
Kathy's
her brother.
Brother.
Dag nabbit.
Yeah.
Her brother.
Chris's uncle.
Okay, bear with me. I'm sorry. So her brother, all right, owns a second generation, you know, passed down construction company.
Well, second generation is the name of the business.
Oh, when you say second generation, I keep thinking that it's passed down.
So if you Google
Gotcha.
second generation construction
Yeah.
in Gallatin, you'll see his website. You'll see a picture of him and
Wow. Okay.
You know, all the ties that he has with the community and stuff. So it's
okay. So
it's interesting because
Uh-huh.
Kathy and Chris actually had a house in Gallatin before they went to Hendersonville. So you had Kathy and Chris lived in Gallatin.
Yeah.
You have Kathy, the mom and stepdad, live in Gallatin. And then you have the uncle that lives in Gallatin. You have the garbage dump in Gallatin. And you have Danny Guy's construction business in Gallatin. So everything's in Gallatin.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
just they moved 2 years ago to Hendersonville. So everybody's focusing on Hendersonville.
Okay, so BK, they do own properties then. They do own properties outside of like just, you know, building a house here and there, blah, blah, blah. Of course, they do some construction. They build houses and whatnot, but they, I'm sure, own other properties, right?
Yeah, yes. I mean, I don't know the other properties as far as Kathy's, but I do know the construction business is in Gallatin next to the garbage dump, or just off the side of the garbage dump.
Well, clearly they own, clearly they run or do some sort of building of some sort, unless, it's a front for, some laundering business like they're the Heisenbergs or something like that, like they're Walter White. And I highly doubt that. And I highly doubt that. But my thing is, is that they need to look into, I'm hoping law enforcement's listening, or somebody who's connected may be able to reach out to law enforcement and say, hey, if there are other construction sites that they work on, there are houses, other properties that they own, or that even maybe the grandma is trying to sell. Hey, there's plenty of empty houses out here that are still looking for people to turn into their forever homes, right? So what are the chances of him being hidden somewhere in those properties? And law enforcement, if you're watching, if you're listening, I highly recommend y'all looking in that direction, because you never know if Sebastian may be there. Just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's interesting. But BK, thank you so much for that clarification. I really do appreciate that, my brother.
All right. Hey, one more thing. Like I was saying, you have the Henderson, which they've already searched and did, searches around there, but they haven't expanded it outward towards that Gallatin area where all the family pretty much lived. So that might be another option to kind of go out there.
Yeah. I mean, everybody who's out here searching, all the volunteers and whatnot, let's keep it real. Please, guys, look in those areas. I feel like it needs to be branching out and spreading out outside of Hendersonville anyway, because you never know. This kid could have been picked up and dropped off somewhere, a little bit outside of Hendersonville, etc. So, BK, thank you so much for the information. Thank you so much for dropping the knowledge.
Thank you.
All right.
Let's find Sebastian.
Let's find Sebastian all day, man. Thank you so much. You stay blessed, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye. I am going to end right there. I think that's a solid place to end the phone calls for tonight. I do appreciate everybody calling in, but phone calls are done for tonight. Okay. I think that's a really good place to just stop at, because if anybody's watching this that's connected to the case, maybe it's something you guys can look into. Maybe there's a connection here. And again, let me just say this too. Just because that say Sebastian may be in one of these properties does not mean it's a connection to the Bauer Sox, or, the brother, or the grandma being involved in his disappearance. They may just have knowledge of those properties and could have taken him there. You see what I'm saying? Unbeknownst to the families. Does that make sense? So just saying that out loud before everybody, starts thinking, the worst thing ever. You see what I'm saying? Just erring on the side of possibilities. Okay. Before everything goes absolutely crazy. But please, guys, do me a favor. Hit that like button down below. All right. I see a bunch of y'all in here. It really does mean a lot. Let's get it to 1.8K. That would be awesome. All right. We're almost there. So please do that. And I appreciate all y'all. You guys are using that brain matter. It means a lot. Okay. And it means a lot for Sebastian as well. Real talk. It really, really does. Okay. But phone lines are closed. Speak on It is over. I do appreciate you guys calling in and just giving all of us your 2 cents. Okay. So please don't forget to do that. Of course, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button as well. That'd be greatly appreciated. I do have a couple members chats and all that to hit up. So let's get into this. Kate Spoo, thank you so much for being a member for the past 9 months. Just saying I love you platonically. Bring Sebastian home. I love you too, platonically as well. Thank you so much for the love. Shauna, thank you so much. Why is CP posting about how to bury a body? Oh, you know what? I know he was saying something about how long or how to put a body in cement. Like that. That's crazy. That's pretty wild. You got to have it a certain amount of depth, and it has to be such and such, and then you got to pass over it. If you want it to look like there's if you want it to look like there's not a body in the cement, that's crazy. Okay, that is very, like, you're putting out information that no one asked for. You know what I'm saying? Just saying too much, right? Bozina, thank you so much. Or Bozena, thank you so much. Thank you, Pascal, for everything you do for Sebastian. Of course, you know it, and this is, of course, all at the end of the day, trying to get this young man home. Okay, the 5 Canes. Yeah, I already reposted it. I saw this earlier. Thank you so much for the support, though. RKC, thank you so much for the super sticker. I really do appreciate it. RKC, again, thank you so much. But that is assuming that CP parents care about Sebastian. I mean, the way that they're moving, how they're operating out here in these streets too, does not seem like they do care optically. Okay, but they may do. They may care. But how they're moving out here optically looks weird. Chris doesn't care about him. I think Chris doesn't care about him. He's a narcissist. And who does Sebastian look like? He looks like bio dad Seth. Yes, he does. He definitely does. Here's his face again. Okay. And we're all here just wanting to bring him home. Real talk. Real mother loving talk. JLL, wow, thank you so much. Thank you for the 50. That means a lot. Thank you so much. If Seth ends up failing or having inconclusive poly, it will be because meds and being tired. I think that's the combination for sure. When he called your show 3 days ago, you could tell he was on his meds and was falling asleep on you. So I don't. Okay. But okay. The falling asleep, they shouldn't have let him take it. You know, I think that they should have said something to him along the lines of like, hey, we understand that you're taking medication. You may want to take a good night's rest before you come in, and maybe not use the meds, take the meds for the day before this poly, so we have a clean test, right? But again, we still don't know the results. Rumor is saying that the results are coming back bad. That's just rumor. We have heard nothing from law enforcement or Seth indicating that he had a bad polygraph test. And I think that we all need to be fully aware of that. Fully aware of that. Okay? Some Cloud, thank you so much. His chore was taking out the trash. Did he sneak out and hide in garbage can to see where things go? Ooh, that's a possibility too. Monday being pickup day is interesting. Yeah. I mean, I don't know the schedule for trash day. Okay. But interesting thought though. Okay. Interesting thought to think about. Him just curious about like, where does trash go? Every kid does that at some point. And maybe his questions went even further. Oh, let me hide in here. And I'll take a little field trip. But then again, somebody just said it, and I was just about to say, Bianca said, still no scent. Exactly. But still no scent. Wouldn't they have smelled him on the side of the trash can, or like him getting it, like something of that sort, leaving some trail of scent behind? So yes, it's a possibility that he got curious, like, hey, where does trash actually go? I'm curious. Just like any innocent kid would ask and think about as well. But when they have picked up his scent, the other thing too is let's entertain the idea for a second. If he was actually in the trash, alive, and he got dumped into the back of this garbage truck, wouldn't they have seen him? Wouldn't trash, the garbage men, see him at some point? I mean, I like I said, I don't even know how garbage men and how that truck actually works. But if he was alive and they went back to the place where they need to go to maybe drop off the garbage, wouldn't they have seen him get out of the garbage? But like I said, I don't know. I don't know that information, but that's something I want to know. But that's a good question, though. Anything's possible, y'all. Anything's possible. Now, here's the thing, guys. First off, I appreciate every single last one of y'all who called in, put in your 2 cents. I really do appreciate the super chats. All right. It really means a lot, the support. Seriously. Okay. But there's a few things. One, there's a lot of rumors that have been out here circulating that are not true. There is not a criminal investigation going on at all whatsoever. We just heard it from news as well. Okay. He did a whole video of like, hey, what do we need to do to make this a criminal investigation? So it is not a criminal investigation yet. FBI did not knock on the Proudfoot's home or their RV to have conversations with them at all. That is still has been debunked. One thing we can walk away from this show with, though, is that police are still saying that no one is off the table. No one has been released. Everyone is still being looked at as potential suspects. That is something that we can walk away from and at least know, hey, no one's off the table. That means they're still investigating. That means that they're still doing whatever they need to do to find out the truth. Here's another piece. Seth did do a polygraph. He fell asleep allegedly several times during that polygraph. Does that mean his polygraph is going to come back negative? We don't know. There's a rumor saying that it came back negative, but that's not true at all. Law enforcement's not going to put that information out there like that. Not at all. Okay? Or even if he did it through Nancy Grace. She's going to hold on to that and maybe say it during her next show, during the taping of her next show. Okay? So those are things that we need to think about and keep in the back of our minds. And it's still, one more thing. I still don't know. Are they still at the Yogi Bear campsite? Or have they moved somewhere else? I do not know that part. But we do know criminal investigation has not happened yet, but I'm here for it, though. I'm here for it when it actually does. You guys asked a lot of really great questions, and I'm hoping that at some point we get those answers very, very soon. A lot of things are still on the table. A lot of possibilities are still on the table. Why? Because they still have nothing. They don't know where this kid is, what happened to him, how this whole thing went down. The possibilities of him being holed up somewhere are still there. It could be him being held up or him not being alive anymore. We still have all those options still on the table. And I'm hoping at some point we're going to find that out soon. Misty, thank you so much. If Sebastian took out the trash, did the dogs hit the scent going to the curb on the trash can? Like I said, they found nothing. That also confirms that the trail that was going out to the pond, out in the backyard, all that kind of stuff, all that, not real. So whatever Chris Proudfoot has been saying to that guy, on that narked divers is not true. It's been debunked. You know for a fact, Nancy Grace would not be out here telling everybody something that is not factually true. And you got to remember the source, the information, the source that we're getting the information from. Chris Proudfoot has lied time and time again. Katie Proudfoot has lied time and time again. So should we really believe everything that's coming out of Chris and Katie Proudfoot's mouth right now? I say no. I'll answer it for you. It's as simple as that. But one thing for sure that they are trying to make it sound like is that they're innocent and that they're not suspects in this case. We're hearing right now, their names are still on the table or they're still on the board and they have not been cleared yet. Anyway, guys, that is the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. Oh, and let's not forget, he was blowing his nose. He was blowing his nose. Can a man blow his nose on a show? Anyway, guys, that's the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It means a lot. Thank you so much. I appreciate all y'all's energy. Of course, we're keeping our eyes on this particular case. Trust and believe. If there's more developments, which I hope there are, factual, hard developments, we will talk about it. Okay? And I will do everything I can to keep his name out here until we find out where he is, until he is found. All right? Trust and believe. I appreciate all y'all. Real talk. You guys are amazing. Have a wonderful, blessed night. Do me a favor before the show is over. Hit that like button down below. Hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. That would really mean a lot. Don't forget to hit that follow button if you're watching on Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Follow me on all my platforms. Don't forget to crush that subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Hit that join button down below and become a member of the family if you're watching on YouTube. That'd be greatly appreciated. These purple lights do not pay for themselves, okay? And of course, if you want to support it even further, hit that Patreon. It's in the ticker down below. It is patreon.com/The Pascal Show. And of course, please check out pascalmerch.com. Got some really nice merch, okay, over there. Go check it out. I'm sure you'll find something you'll like. Okay, guys. Anyway, guys, have a great rest of your night. Keep it very classy. Get some rest. You know I will. Your boy's tired. All right. And we will talk very, very soon. Stay blessed out there. Let's stay positive out here, guys. Okay? We need as much positive energy and focus on great, bright vibrations now more than ever. Okay? So let's focus on that. Anyway, guys, it's time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. We'll talk soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.